My name is Gagandeep Singh Benipal, and my topic is cadres ethical decision making. So let's start with its definition. There are three contrasting ways of ethical decision making. First of all, are ends based. This principle is best known by deciding to whatever good for the greatest number, and the second one is rules based. In this we are sticking to our rules and the policies, and the third one is care based, following the golden rule, in which do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So in the next slide, once it's determined that the problem is not right versus wrong, that indeed an ethical dilemma exists. Means there's an existence of ethical dilemma when we have determined that the problem is not right versus wrong. Secondly, after you must examine the situation and begin to try and resolve the dilemma. Third one, Kidder laid out three important checkpoints for this theory, that is ethical decision making. Let me explain these 9 checkpoints. First of all, recognize there is a moral or ethical issue. In this, we have to identify issues needed attention and then verify those issues, uh, whether they are real or any fiction or myth or important for our decision. Second one, determine the actor, whose dilemma is it and who is responsible for it in actual. In the third one, gather the relevant facts, like distinguish the facts from the fictions or assumptions, thus make categories of the facts with which are fictions or real, which are important or which are not important for our decision. And the fourth one is test for right versus wrong issues. Was it against your moral values or policies, or in is it in it is in your favor of your policies? We have to distinguish these things. In the fifth point, test for right versus wrong. The paradigms describe ethical problems as either or, such as truth versus loyalty or justice versus mercy. We have to make categories and classes again. In the sixth checkpoint, apply the resolution principles, whether they are end based, rule based, or care based, as I have discussed earlier in the presentation. And the seventh one, it's investigate the trilemma option, like look for the common ground or compromise where we can sort out some things or we can have some decisions in the favor of organization. And the eighth one, make the decision. It's very important to make a conclusion and decide whatever we have to do and to act about it to make the decision good, successful, and with better outcomes. And the ninth and the last one checkpoint is revisit and reflect on the decision. Just revise the decision to make sure that whether the decision is right, or is it going in the right direction, or it will have good outcomes, positive outcomes. It's just to the reduce the negativity rate of the decision before the end of that decision. And let's go with the pros or cons of this theory. First, let me describe the advantages. It allows an administrator to put aside personal feelings and interests. Second one, this process forces an administrator to consider all the angles of the decision and also impact that the decision will have an individuals as well as groups involved in your decision, in your theory, to make the results better. And the third one is the ethical decision making process finally examines the outcomes, benefits, and consequences of the decision to be made on different on the based of different facts or proofs or documents records we have with us. And after that, disadvantages: this process may be difficult for the administrator to determine all the possible outcomes, which may lead to unanticipated consequences, like we can't have uh, all the possible outcomes to be determined to have anticipated consequences. So there are always some anticipated consequences from the outcomes. And another one is that the administrator would be unable to determine or predict the consequences to the community or to the programs that are already in use. And the last one, the facts are not always available or there is not enough time to gather them at the right time. uh, and there may be a disadvantage for this style, like when we are not able to gather all the facts, proofs, documents, we can't have positive or we can say true outcomes decisions without these all things. And lastly, implications towards the educational leadership in this ethical decision making theory. Like in educational leadership, it begins with the one's admissional individual moral values and ethics. And then educational leader must consider the principles what they believe to be right or wrong. An education leader must use professional ethics when making ethical decisions, and they should also act with the professional integrity. It focuses on the maintaining respect, confidence of the community. Highest degree of ethical conduct can be achieved and sustained by using this theory. And that's all about the decision making theory I got. And thank you so much for giving me chance. Be safe, enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much.